And I do apologize because this is probably, you can't probably see any of that. But anyway, my phone has both firmware and software. You need to update both. I have a Samsung phone. My Samsung phone actually updates both within a couple of minutes of each other because it doesn't work properly otherwise. And the company forces that to happen. And that's good. But not all systems are like that. So you have to check. Make sure that your apps are up to date as well. So check your firmware, make sure it's up to date, then check your software, make sure it's up to date. A good way to think of the two is one is apps and programs that are installed on your system. The other, so firmware is always running. Software is the stuff that you choose to run. So how often do you do a patch night? Updates come out every month for software, usually. But sometimes it's not realistic to do a monthly patch night. In the IT world, we do a monthly patch night every month because it has to be done and you need to keep your security up to date if you're running a business. If you're running stuff from home, I would encourage you to do a monthly patch night. However, if you cannot, at least do it quarterly. Once every 3 months, take your stuff and do an update to your firmware and then do software updates to all your software. But monthly is preferred. Now, sometimes your systems are set up to automatically do the software updates, and in that case, just run them as you see them. Sometimes they're trying to change your settings, so when the new Windows screen pops up and it says, do you want to use Microsoft settings instead of your settings? I always tell it, no, I don't want to use their settings. I want to use the settings that I set up. Okay, so patch night, do not skip patch night. All right, number 7, improve your security. This is kind of weird and kind of simple, but you take inventory sometimes because you want to improve your security. What do I mean by that? Let's say you've been running the same password on your network for the network or your Wi-Fi network for the last 10 years, and it's only 5 characters long. Well, that password is easy to crack right now. So what you're going to need to do is update your wireless network password. If you go back to lesson 1 and you see how to build a password, you can use that to upgrade all your password, upgrade your wireless router's connection password or passcode, whatever you want to call it, the password for your wireless network. And after you've done your inventory, now you know which devices to go to in order to update that password. So that's one thing that you will want to do once you've taken inventory is improve your security. All right. The other part of improving security for the wireless network is to separate out your wireless network for guests. And that's something we talked about in the lesson on setting up your wireless network. You want to turn on your guest network only when you have guests and only give them that password and the guest network SSID so that when the guests are on your stuff, it doesn't affect the rest of your network. When the guests are on your internet connection, it doesn't affect the rest of your network. That is a very important thing to do. And once they leave, log into your router and turn off the guest network. It's actually pretty simple. There's a lot of controls you can do straight from your phone. All right, and finally, keep your inventory up to date. So number 8 is keep your inventory up to date. What does that mean?